So you cannot lead someone that you need. Now you think, now you know what causes the need for validation from others is an insecurity within yourself. When you're emotionally immature and you're mentally insecure within yourself, you constantly look for validation from others. And then you tend to be a Mr. Nice Guy or Mr. Please It All or a yes person to everyone. And you think you're unconditionally loving everybody and that makes you a nice person. No, that destroys you and you cannot lead the people you're supposed to be leading. So in effect, you destroy them as well. Guys, leadership, and I did this course yesterday, leadership. You got a choice to lead from inspiration or desperation. And leading doesn't mean, I can pick on any one of persons in the room at the moment, and I know some of you feel like, yeah, but you're not in a leadership position. I think we put that to bed already. You are a leader. Why are we on this thing, just this journey together? Is because I see incredible leadership in every one of you. Now, you may not see it yourself, but that's part of me believing in you and adding value to you because I see value in you. We make this time together wherever we are in the world because we value each other. So don't lead from desperation, lead from inspiration. You see, when you remain, and most of you don't want to hear this, when you remain emotionally immature and mentally insecure and you don't take responsibility for your own personal growth, then you become the person who needs validation from others. You become desperate for their validation. And you start leading from a position of desperation. And you become a high maintenance individual. And there's nothing worse than a leader being a high maintenance person to the people they lead. Constantly seeking their validation. Constantly being desperate for their approval. So you lead from desperation. And you know what happens when you are desperate for other people's validation? You will start resenting yourself because you know that you are insecure. You don't want to admit it. You know that you have this insecurity and you need their validation all the time. So you keep on, you're hungry, you're needy. That's where this term needy comes from. You're needy of their validation. And you probably have people in your life who is needy, constantly needy. And after a while, it becomes exhausting. Because they're just needy of your validation constantly. So your people then start resenting you. Because you're desperate for their attention and for their validation and for their approval. And you're not leading them effectively. You're actually destroying them. Then what happens if you've got a leadership position is you're very dangerous. Because you start using your position to manipulate them so that they can be approving of you. Because you're leading from a position of desperation. When you lead from a position of inspiration, how do you stay inspired? You stay inspired by growing you. You don't have to be a loudmouth. You don't have to be someone who speaks a lot. No, you just got to be inspired. People who are constantly tired, unless you have a severe medical issue, that's a different discussion. But if you're just constantly exhausted and constantly you say you're tired, I don't use those words to myself unless I'm teaching something about it. But if you constantly live like that, you're not tired, you're not exhausted, you're just uninspired. You're uninspired. Maybe you believe that because you're older, you're at the later part of your life, so life is almost done, and you kind of start becoming this person who's uninspired. My philosophy on that. As long as our Creator put life in you and put life in me, there's things to do. It means we're not done. How can you or I decide we're done? Because you didn't create you, I didn't create you, I didn't create me, which means I don't know when my time is up, and neither do you know when your time is up. So you might have 5 minutes, you might have 55 years still to come. I don't know. But what are you going to do? You're going to live uninspired with nothing to do, just see what happens? It doesn't make sense. So how do you lead from inspiration, not desperation? You focus on growth. If you grow yourself, if you get emotionally mature and mentally secure, and you understand your vision, your purpose in your life, that you wake up for every day, you remain inspired. If you are inspired, the people you lead, you no longer become desperate for their validation, for their approval. Now you can lead them effectively. Because now they're following an inspired leader, not a desperate, needy person. I hate to be so frank, but it's true, isn't it? If you're not an inspired leader, and leader doesn't mean in coming to your workplace or your friend circle and like motivate everybody. No, that's not what inspired leader. That sometimes can be shallow and fake. That's not what I mean. You could be a very quiet human being, but just because you live your life with purpose, you exude inspiration to others. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be a big shot of some sort. No, you don't have to try to be anything you're not. That's why too many of us, we look externally for the answer. We forget to look in, not we forget. We don't want to look internally because it's hard. It's tough to work on me. So we hope our position and our title will carry us. It can't. It can't. Oh, it can only carry you for so long and then it's over. So lead from inspiration. How do you become inspired? Grow you. If you grow you, naturally you will inspire those around you, and you will lead from a position of inspiration or desperation. And then you will lead because you don't need. You don't need their validation. You don't need their affirmation. Now they'll give it to you. That's the weirdest thing. When you're not looking for it, it will come. When you're not chasing the recognition, it will come. When you're chasing it, it goes away. It's like money. When people come to me and they're struggling with money, it's a lesson I learned in my 20s and my early 30s as well. The more you chase it, it leaves you, it runs. Don't chase money. Find a purpose, find what's your passion, what drives you, everything. Get inspired, and money will come to you. Success will come to you. Recognition will, even when you don't want it. And actually, that's true humility, is because you're not looking for it. When you're leading from desperation, you're looking for the recognition. You're looking for the accolades because you need that to make you feel better. When you lead from inspiration, you get the recognition, you get the accolades, but it doesn't define you. So it's a catch-22. If you focus on growing you, the stuff will come. Don't chase the stuff. You want to lead? Lead from a position of strength, not weakness. You can't lead when you need. And when you need someone, you won't hold them accountable. But when you don't need their validation. So yes, you need people on your team. You need what they do. But if you need their validation, you will struggle to hold them accountable. And this, I can think of so many of you and myself as well, where there's situations where you may need to hold someone accountable or have hard conversations with that individual. And you may choose not to because they are the ones that validate you. And that's very dangerous, okay? Because then the purpose suffers. The purpose suffers because of your weakness. So